Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm my bag. I freestyle like that because I'm just awesome.
Come on. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Welcome back.
Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Chat with Maggie and Lee.
Yay.
And guess what? We have a special one for you today. You've heard her name on here before. You really have. We talk about her. We mention her name. You know, our sister, our friend, our darling, Miss Clara.
Drum roll, peeps. That's our girl.
Yeah. We are so glad to have you here. And again, thank you guys for supporting us, for always subscribing and the comments, the likes, the sharing. You know, it's very, very inspiring, and it's really helping us to keep going and being obedient to what God has told us to do. So thank you again. Make sure you share this one as well. You know, comment.
Like, subscribe, go to our channel, and just keep plugged in with us.
Yes.
We truly appreciate you guys coming on this journey with us, and we are so grateful. I think we're 3 episodes in now, and we are family now. Like, it feels better. I feel like the anxiety levels have dropped significantly. Because now we're comfortable. We're coming on here. We're just going to chat with our friends and catch up with everyone. And we have been reading everything you guys are saying in the comments. And thank you. We love you, and we're doing our best to respond. So keep the comments coming. We want the conversations to keep going and not just end, you know, at the initial comment.
I know. Thank you. You know, we know you are out of your comfort zones now because you're following us.
That's
and
right.
we know that you're trusting and waiting on God as well. So today we have a juicy one.
We do. Today we are discussing cancel culture. Right? Quote unquote being woke. I guess our generation is considered woke.
Yes.
And in our woke generation, cancel culture is a big part of that. I wanted to start with reading the dictionary definition of cancel culture before we step into our personal views and, you know, if we can find it in the Bible. Because remember, we discuss everything that is life, love and godliness. So starting off, our definition of cancel culture is... Cancel culture or call-out culture is a contemporary phrase used to refer to a form of ostracism in which one person is thrust out of social or professional circles, whether it is online, on social media, or in person. The person that is subjected to ostracism is then called canceled. So, I know that's super juicy, right? It's so loaded. When we were researching this topic and thinking about it, the first scripture that comes to mind is Acts 28, the story of Paul and when he was on his way to Malta and he's involved in the shipwreck.
Yes.
So they survived the shipwreck and everyone is just gassing him up. At this point, he is like the most amazing person. He's just so awesome. He's great. And then fast forward, you know, a few moments later, he's bitten by a snake. And the same people that were praising him are saying he's cursed. This must come from God. He's a murderer. All of a sudden, they're labeling him and saying all this negative stuff about him. And you're like, wait a minute, weren't you just praising him a second ago? What happened? And then so from that, he shakes the snake off into the fire. And he doesn't die. Everyone's waiting to watch him die. He doesn't die and he survives. Then now he's like an anointed and blessed man of God. So you see that and you're like, wow, even the Bible had some form of cancel culture. So like diving really deep into that discussion, I'll start with you, Clara. We're so happy to have you on here. You're a girl.
I'm so happy to be here.
What's your view on cancel culture?
What's my view on cancel culture? I mean, cancel culture is a big thing now, right?
Yes.
And I'm happy that you referenced the scripture, but because it's not just a social media thing. It's happening in our everyday life.
That's right.
When everything goes well, hey, you're everybody's favorite, right? But as soon as you mess up, then you've been canceled.
You're out. You're out.
You're canceled.
Like zero grace is extended.
Which is quite tough. And if you're gonna think about the Bible and what the Bible calls us to do, to love each other, right? Do we even have a place for cancel culture as we as Christians, right? So that's something we have to think about. It's not just social media. It happens in our everyday life. Let's look at Will Smith. Right? When he's all up the top, everybody likes him. He's doing great. Everybody's following him. But then he messed up.
One mistake after 30 good years.
And then what happens now? Everybody's trying to pull back on his
sponsorship
deals
deals
and stuff like that.
10 years.
And it even happens in our daily life. Look, you go to work. Let's see, you are performing at your highest, right? You're doing everything right. Everybody likes you there.
Everybody loves you.
You are everybody's favorite. But mess up. And see what happens.
A different
You'll be
side.
lucky if you don't even get
fired on the
right?
spot.
So
or write up.
So I think it's very relatable to our everyday situation. Even if in church, okay, you're in church, you're doing everything godly, but as soon as you mess up, what happens then?
You're out. You are out.
It's like everybody will be like, "Oh, I knew it."
No,
I knew it. I've been suspecting this about you this entire time.
For the long time. But I think we as Christians have to really reevaluate how we look at things now and see if it even cancel culture, is it a place for us? And once we're relating to people in our everyday life, let's have some grace, you know, in how we deal with situations. But I want to hear your feedback on that cancel culture.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. And I think, from my perspective, I think the reason why people are so quick to cancel people is because even when you look at your personal life, you barely give grace to yourself. You do not forgive yourself when you go wrong, when you falter, when you barely have room or grace for yourself. So it's like, oh, if I don't have it for myself, how can I extend it
to someone else
or give it to somebody else, right? And I feel like that is where it comes from. Most of the times it comes from a place of us not being able to forgive ourselves and accept that, you know, God has forgiven us. That is also one part of it, because I feel like it's so hard for us to accept forgiveness. And so it's like, well, I can't accept it. If I can accept it, you too, I can't give it to you. Why should I give you forgiveness? And that is my take on it. Really, it's like we have a struggle of forgiving ourselves and just extending grace to ourselves when we
That's
falter.
true. And to piggyback on your point about, you know, not being able to extend grace to yourself, so it's hard to extend grace to other people. I think one of the things that's lacking in our generation too is conflict resolution skills. We just don't have conflict resolution skills. So the moment that you do something that's contrary to my thinking, my lifestyle, or how I view the world, instead of having a discussion and saying, hey, this is how I think this should be, let's, you know, even if it's to agree to disagree. We don't do that. It's just, wait, you're too different, I'm out. I don't need you in my life. Or like sometimes you just don't want that stress. I don't want the stress of trying to figure this out with you. I have a million other things that are going on in my life. It's easier to just cut you off because it's convenient. And then sometimes we don't think about the importance of building relationships. You know, like you just in such a hurry to get it over and done with. Like you offend me today, forget about you. And then you're like, wait, that could have been a lifetime friendship if you had fixed that little issue.
Yes. And I think we live in a season where everybody is minding their own business. Your peace. Everybody's I'm drinking my water.
Minding my business. That's right.
We are minding our own business, but really, are we really minding our own business, or are we afraid to have hard conversations with the people we love, right? Because I feel like we, as Christians per se, we go to God for everything. We pray about everything, which is what we need to do. It's very important. But how often do we sit down with our sisters and brothers and say, hey, you've offended me.
You hurt my feelings.
Or you hurt my feelings. Do we really spend time to have that hard conversations with our fellow believers or our sisters and brothers? We don't. We're like, oh, this person, no, I don't want to deal with it. I'm minding my business. I don't have time to deal with that. But I think we have to consciously work, even as we pray, we also have to consciously work on building relationships with our because we're called to work with each other. That's right.
Yeah. That's
so
the goal.
So if we are all minding our business, how can the work of God be accomplished?
That's right.
If we are all minding our business, we have to really sit down and have those hard conversations with and respect. Have open mind and respect other people's boundaries as well. I feel like boundaries is something that we also fail to set or respect, right? How many times have you tried to set boundaries with someone and they just don't?
And
we don't even know what they
did. You don't know, and they're like, "Wait, I don't know. I haven't been introduced to the idea or the concept of setting boundaries."
Right.
So the moment you set boundaries, somebody will feel like you disrespected them.
Right.
So that's cause to cancel you.
Right. Or people, like some people will be like, oh, set boundaries. But as soon as you set the boundaries and it's affecting them, then you're no longer, in their good graces anymore. It's like, oh, set it. Oh, you're too loose. Everybody's using you, whatever. But as soon as you put one in place, they are no longer receptive. You've changed. You're no longer. And there's this meme, or should I say a gift that is going about that it says, everyone is grown until it comes to let's talk.
Let's
have a conversation. It's like everybody's like, no, we cannot have a conversation. And like to your point, really, that's what Christ wants us to do, to be together, love our neighbors as ourselves. But again, like I said from the beginning, I see that the number one issue is that, I'll speak for myself, is the reason why I will not approach you if, let's say, you've done something to me. It's because me myself, I've seen all the wrongs with me. You get what I mean? Like, I look at my own self and I'm like, Maggie, you are not perfect, whatever, just let it go. Water under the bridge, maybe she's going, like, I make excuses for whoever offended me. I try to give them, grace, like, okay, maybe they're having a bad day. Everybody's having a tough time. Maggie, you can't always be in your feelings. I'm always like that, making excuses as to why that person did what they did, instead of me going and making sure that you don't have to go and be mean about it. You can have a conversation. It's how you say it, and just say what you did last time didn't it hurt me, so that the person will know, so next time they don't do it. But we don't want that. Like I said, I'll just give all the excuses that the person is going through a tough time, so let's just leave it at that, and then I'll leave it, and then next time I'll see you and then we are cool in my heart.
But that, I think it's perfect for some time.
But it doesn't solve the problem.
It doesn't solve the problem.
Nope.
And I've seen so many people that give grace. Like, it's good to give grace. Not put everything under the rag and then move on. Then it gets to a point where you deal with it so much that you get tired. And then you walk away.
That's right.
And then now the people who you are offending, they may never know.
They'll never know.
They never know. So now you've lost a whole relationship that I feel like if you would
discuss it. Just talk about it. We'll fix it.
It would have been resolved. Because I think people now, the new thing is we all get to a point where it was like, oh, maybe that season for me and that person has ended.
Everybody's in a life for a season and a reason and a lifetime.
Sit
down and fix it.
Sit down. Stop being a big baby.
So we have to sit up. I know for me personally, I would let things go. They want maybe the first time I'll let it. Oh, they probably didn't know. Let's give them a second chance. And it happens again. The third time I'm blowing up.
And now they're looking at you crazy. Like, why are you blowing up?
You never mentioned it the first time.
And because I'm so calm, when people see that side of me, it's like shock. And they're like, I don't want to mess with her. I didn't know that's how she was. I didn't know that's how she was.
Spicy.
Meanwhile, I could have resolved this the first time it happened. So someone, and I would have done that so nicely that getting to the third time, where it's like, hey,
now you can't take it anymore.
I can't take it. And to me, when that happens, most of the time, I cannot even go back to the person that
you're like, oh, like, Just see
Because
me in
the person
another
I've seen
lens
them,
now.
Yeah, now they're looking at you like,
Crazy.
oh,
sideways.
wow.
I'm like, oops, like
Right.
I should have. But I think I've grown over the years. I'm more. We'll talk about it now, and we've discussed it. I know
You're pretty
we've
good
been-
about,
we've
like, let's talk
discussed
about it. Let's talk
I'm
about
like,
it, yeah.
let's
Let's
deal
talk
with it
about
now
this
because
right
if
now.
I let it pass, the second or the
That's
third
it'll
time,
fester.
I don't
Yeah.
know how I'm gonna
gonna
react to
react.
that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it now. And I think if we all get to a place where we can talk about it and we can respect each other and know where each other is coming from. Well, I mean,
And I think also the value of accepting constructive criticism. I think that's one of the biggest things is we don't know how to receive constructive criticism.
Right.
So one, not only do I not have conflict resolution skills, but I don't know how to accept constructive criticism.
Right.
So some of the reasons why people don't approach people when they do something wrong is, hey, I'll tell you what you did wrong and how you offended me or how I didn't like what you did, but then you're gonna tell me 7,000 things that I've done wrong.
for us petty people.
Right, that's right, for petty people.
Right.
I'm like,
Yo,
I don't
the
know
queen
how.
of pettiness.
No. Clara takes the crown. Like, Clara is
No,
the
it's
pettiest person you will ever
Yeah.
meet. Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Hey,
won't
people
know
don't know
how.
that.
It's out now. It's out
Yeah.
now. Tread lightly. Okay.
No, but it's so true. What you're saying is so true. One advice that, you know, I'm not married yet, but you know what I'll take into my marriage, because I heard one woman of God says, you know, when you're in a conflict or in an argument with a person or your spouse or whatever, try and attack the problem and not the person. And I think most of the times that's what we do.
Yeah.
We start attack to your point. We start attacking the person,
And
so we will
not
start
the
giving you
problem.
10,000 things that's wrong with
And you also did this. You
Why?
did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of attacking what that issue is for that very moment, which will help us, but we don't do that. We always go attacking the person, and that is wrong.
I would say that taking ownership is a big thing, right?
right.
I think for the most part, people don't even want to talk about it because they're afraid of people being always the victim
Yeah.
or
Yes.
the victim mentality.
yeah.
Like, I'm always right and you are wrong. So to me personally, it's hard for me to have discussions with people that I know play the victim all the time, because we all have to learn to take ownership.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Responsibility,
That is true.
ownership of. Most of the time when things happen, it's not just one party.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
We all have
Everybody
a part to
contributed
play.
to the problem. Yeah.
So if I'm coming at you, bringing up my issue, my petty self is expecting you to also bring in
Your issue.
your part of it. But
they
the most
won't.
time, it's always like I'm the victim. I'm the one that is right. You are the one that hurt my feelings. But wait a minute. Can you sit down for 1 minute to think about how you also played
You're
a
part of the problem.
But when
Yeah.
in the conflict resolution, again, sometimes it will escalate when you take it that way. But I think it's something that we have to work on ourselves.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because
That's
if
right.
I'm coming at you, if I bring that, it's almost like I'm being petty.
Yeah.
But
It's
and I'm always
seen as petty.
Seen as petty.
She's
guys.
petty.
I'm
She's
seeing
not
as
petty.
petty,
mother.
but I
like
feel
the
like
pettiest.
I feel like people need to take ownership
Ownership,
of
that's
their
what it
actions.
is.
I think it's because a lot of times when you're trying to resolve a conflict, the person that's being told what they did wrong is not listening.
No.
Right? You're not
Because it-
listening to change.
No.
Again, it comes back to the constructive criticism.
Right. Can't
You're
take
not
it.
listening to change.
Yeah.
I'm listening and waiting for you to give me room to attack you back.
Exactly.
And that's where the problem comes in. I know one of my biggest struggles when we say, hey, conflict resolution, that's not a strength for me. I'll just keep quiet. It's like sometimes I'll be upset, I won't speak.
Yeah.
I'm upset, I'll be so mad, I'll cry. Like tears will be streaming down, but I don't want to speak because I remember when I was a child, my mother told me that you can't take words back.
Oh yeah.
So and as I
Yes.
grew older, like that rings in the back of my mind every time I'm upset because I'm like, oh, when you speak when you're angry,
That's right.
you say something that you don't even mean, but you're upset, and then turn back around, you can't take it back. It's like it's too late. So I end up just bottling up my feelings, and then when I cool down, and then I will cry to the Holy Spirit, and then I have this whole thing with Jesus. When I'm done with that, then it leaves
Done.
my heart and it's over.
That's
so
how
the
I also
person
do
never
it.
knows that they offended me.
Nope.
They never know that what they did was wrong. But in my mind, I'm like reading you and studying you to kind of see. So I'm like, oh, okay. these are your triggers, these are your push points.
Yes.
I'm going to do my best not to push those buttons that I know will cause me to get hurt.
Which is a
but
problem.
then you won't know that you're going around doing that. You know, so it's like I need to practice having those conversations like, hey, this is not right. When you do this, it makes me feel this way and do. But I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. I'm like, you know.
And it leads me to say this. When you're dealing with stuff like that, in conflict resolution, you have to know yourself.
That's right.
Like if you know you're a very sensitive person, how you handle conflict, it can be different to someone who is not sensitive.
That's right.
I personally don't think I'm the very sensitive type. So my words can be a little harsh when it comes to straight to the point. Let's get it. This is that. And I've learned throughout the years when I'm dealing with people who are extra sensitive to be mindful of my words and how to, you know, because I have to know myself and how I deal with stuff, and then based on how I figure out how to navigate through things, I'll know how to deal with people. But if you don't know how you deal with certain things, you don't know yourself.
It always comes back to self.
It's going to be very hard.
It's hard.
If you know that you're a type of person that will get easily irritated by certain things, certain words. Maybe for you, handling situation right then and there is not the best thing for you. You need to step back, cool down before you talk about it. Because knowing yourself, if you handle it right now, it's not going to be good.
But the problem is people don't give the grace for people to act when they want to act, like to talk about it when they do not accommodate the fact that the way you handle
is different
from how I do, and I think that is the problem because you want to talk about it right now, right? I'm not ready.
I'm like, nope. I need.
So
to
then
chill.
you're like, I you know, maybe you'll be like, I want to talk about it right now. I didn't say I don't want us to talk about it. I'm just not ready right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not accommodating to that person's feelings. So then I'm like, okay, forget you.
Yeah.
Bye.
And to add on to that, I think if we take the time to study each other's personalities and just figure out how people react to things, it gets better. Right? I feel like a lot of times, like our friendship works because we figured each other out. We've done enough stuff together over the last like 6 years, I think, to kind of know how our personalities, you know, work. So we went out for evangelism yesterday and they were on me. They made fun of me the entire time. Like they had, and I'm like, my day's coming. Just chill. I'm gonna, I'm gonna enjoy making fun of both of them. You know, but little things like that. Just remembering, hey, each other's personalities, how we react to things, what's safe and what's not safe. I think sometimes as when we have friends, we feel like everywhere is a go area. And it's like, no, just because we're friends, it doesn't mean we should not have boundaries. And I think that's where the problem comes in, because you rub each other the wrong way, then you don't have conflict resolution skills, so the friendship just falls apart, you know, because you're overdoing it and you're not respecting boundaries.
And I think one thing that has helped me too in the past is not, when I'm having issues with someone, there's a place where you don't want to talk about it with other people until you've dealt with yourself person, because you have people that love you. Okay, so if they hear some of the stories, the chances of them going on your side defending you
is so
very high.
And sometimes you are over that issue. Like many times I'll vent, but in the 2 or 3 days I'm already over it. Right? And there's no hard feelings. I can have good conversation as long as we've talked about it and we've gone past that. I can have and know where the person is coming from and all that, and know their intention and all that. I'm gone past that. But then there are people who are still salty about that whole issue.
Right. We're talking about it yesterday. We're talking about it like in regards to being in a relationship, right, in a marriage, and it's like maybe you and your spouse are fighting, and then you go and tell your family or your friends about it, but then you go and resolve it with your partner, but then they are still salty about it because they love you.
They love you.
It's like,
and they know the person, and sometimes they're right. They know the person has wronged you, but you are in a place where, hey, we've talked about it. And sometimes when we resolve our issues, we don't go back to our
You don't go back and say, this is fixed.
That's the problem.
it's not, or when we're presenting our stories, it's our side.
It's one side,
you know. So obviously there are people who love you who are gonna keep this for years. I've seen this so many times where people are mad at other people, not because it's even their problem, because they've just heard how someone handles somebody, and
So
they're mad at them for life.
So that's what we are here today talking about. That extend grace, forgive yourself. You know, I think that's where we have to start from. If you forgive yourself, you're able to forgive yourself. You'll be able to forgive others. So let's try as much as we can to do that. And so again, thank you so much for coming and chatting with Maggie and Lee. We really love you. We really love this conversation. I mean, guys, tell us, give us the
how
feedback.
Awesome was Clara.
She was so awesome,
Yes,
you
girl.
know, our girl, she gave it to us, and thank you so much.
Once again, remember to comment, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We absolutely love you guys. We appreciate you. We are family at this point. We count on hearing back from you guys and listening to the feedback. I promise you, we read every single one of the notes you guys leave. So please comment, please share with everyone. We are growing. We want the family to grow super, super big. And I think next time we'll catch up and discuss other things. I'm rambling.
We will. And again, thank you to our sponsors.
Yay, Taro Chips, the best chips in DFW.
Come on, guys.
Absolutely. We will have a little contact information scroll in just a second so you guys can call to order your chips.
Yes, please.
They are vegan, they are healthy, they are amazing. They're great for your diet, so don't worry about how it will affect your diet at all.
Yes, sir. Thank you again for coming on here. God bless you, and we hope that, you know, our little conversation has been able to help you in any way, shape, or form. Please let us know in the comments. You know, also tell us, you know, if we left something out. Give us your feedback about that. Tell us another perspective that is different from ours. We are always open to learning. Thank you again, and God bless you. Again, have a blessed day. Bye.